Welcome to Points of Light. I'm Derek, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of our Vogel cut crystals. These are true Vogel cut crystals, and when we say true Vogel, we mean that they adhere to the specifications that Dr. Marcel Vogel originally discovered. He was a crystallographer who worked at the IBM Crystal Lab in the 80s, and he attributed special healing properties to the specific angles that he cut into the quartz crystal. And I'll talk a little bit about why he thought they had these special properties. Basically, he agreed that the crystal, when it grows in nature, comes out depending on how it's growing in the temperature it grows in, the pressure, the air pressure that it's in, and also the solution that it's in, all give it different frequencies. And so when it's done growing, the frequencies of the crystal could be numerous. And he found that if you cut all of the imperfections away, that you get a very specific frequency which vibrates at the same frequency as water. And he found that to be very important because water, of course, is a large component of the human body, but also of the quartz crystal itself. A quartz crystal, like the human body, is made up of 75% water. And the brain can be up to 90% water. So what he found was that very specific frequency, when you cut the quartz crystal and give it facets, and you have this top angle be 51 degrees and 51 minutes, which is the same angle that the Great Pyramid at Giza has on the tip, and also it's the angle that's present inside of the molecular structure of the quartz itself. He found that when you have one end having that 51 degrees and another end being more acute, that one end acts like a receiver and the other end acts like a transmitter. And the energy that comes through the receiving end is cohered like a laser beam, and it spirals through and comes out the transmitting end in a very coherent beam. And why that's important for healing work, Marcel thought that most disease in the human body was caused by an incoherent frequency, a vibration that wasn't in match with the rest of the body. And he found that if you could introduce a coherent frequency through the use of these specific crystals back into a body part or an organ, then you could affect physical change and physical healing in the human body structure by affecting the water largely. So we have an amazing supply of true Vogel cuts. These cuts are cut by a master cutter who worked with Marcel in the lab in the 80s, and there are only 2 people in America that can cut these crystals to these specifications. There are other Vogel crystals out there that you'll find that are cut in Brazil by other cutters, and some of them are really amazing, and we have some others like that in our store, and others are cut not quite to the perfection that you're going to see here. In these true Vogels, you'll find that when you turn them, the angles are just perfect. And on some of the Vogel cuts that you'll see elsewhere that are made in Brazil, these angles will be a little bit off and kind of look like a roller coaster. So I just wanted to show you some of the many cuts we have of the Vogel design. We have 8-sided crystals, like this one here. And originally Marcel Vogel started with a 4-sided crystal with the 51-degree angle at the tip, and discovered that by adding more facets, it would indeed actually increase the amount of coherence or the power that the crystal had. And so he started adding facets in his lab, and he found that he could add, infinite amount of facets and increase the amount of power. So we start with our 8-sided, and all of our crystals are cut from optically clear piezoelectric quartz with very few inclusions in them. And Marcel thought that was important because the more inclusions you have, the more the frequency is unstable and you get a bigger variation in the frequency. And the goal with these is to have a very clear, coherent, single frequency coming through them to do the healing work. And he believed it was a carrier wave that held the information of the healing. And that's why you want to have a really specific frequency. And the less inclusions, the less of a chance you're going to affect that frequency. So we have the 8-sided. And then we go up to a 12-sided, and that looks like this. We also have an amazing smoky quartz 12-sided, which is very rare. And the smoky quartz is said by Dr. Vogel to have an ability to receive energy. And the reason why we even see the smoky color in it is because it's receiving an energy in the visual spectrum that is beyond what the clear is receiving. So he felt that they had a really amazing ability to receive and take in energies from the human body and from all sorts of other healing modalities. We also have 13-sided. $18-sided. And when you start getting into these 18-sided, it's really amazing to be able to look down the barrel of these and see it's like the infinity. When you look in two mirrors or something, the refraction is just amazing. And that's a sign that you're getting a really amazing cut with perfect angles when you see that spiraling effect when you look down the barrel. Here we have a 24-sided. And these larger cuts are really nice for if you're doing a class or a workshop and you want to be able to have the whole class see what you're doing. With these smaller crystals, it can be a bit tough. With a larger crystal like this, your entire class will be able to see quite easily the work you're doing with the crystal as you move it around. Not to mention the fact that they're just amazingly powerful, beautiful pieces. We also have some other cuts by the same cutter that are inspired by Marcel Vogel's work. We have what's called the Magician's Wand, and this one also has a 51-degree angle, and it's offshoot of a 4-sided Vogel with some multiple facets put in on two of the sides. Beautiful piece. And here we have another one that's more of a tetrahedron, 3-sided, with facets put into the 3 sides. As well as some smaller meditation pieces that are also cut to perfection. And that's about it for our Vogels. We do also carry some Lemurian seed Vogel style wands that were cut in Brazil, which have amazing energy as well. And you can see all that on our website at www.pointsoflight.net.